Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are, of course, going to talk about Peter Mon.
Yay!
In the clips that I am going to show you, Peter is responding to various comments, as well as potentially some Reddit threads, where people have labeled him as lazy and accused him of procrastinating. Throughout the clips, you'll notice how Peter addresses these criticisms, sometimes with humor, sometimes with seriousness, but always in his own unique way. Here we go.
Somebody commented on my video when Alex went to Gladiator, and they said, you really should have gone to Gladiator with your husband. He really wanted you to go. And it kind of makes me, said something like, I don't even know, like, it kind of makes me sad that you didn't want to go with Alex because he would have really loved that. And then it was so funny because like 2 comments down from there, somebody commented, oh, my husband went to go see Gladiator with his best friend today. And I thought, oh my God, your marriage is in trouble because your husband went with his friend instead of you. You should have gone. My husband didn't give a rat's ass that I went to Gladiator. I know that that's so weird to some people that you don't spend, I don't spend every moment with my husband. I know that is so weird to some people that I don't spend every living, waking second with my husband, but we don't. We've been together 16 years. And to be honest with you, sometimes I don't want to. And sometimes he don't either. And that's called marriage. And it's completely normal. And I'm sorry that you don't understand that, okay? I'm sorry that you don't. You know, it's the same people that say that like mock us for being in therapy for so long. You know, I mean, do what works for you. Be happy. Be in love. Or don't be. I don't really care, okay? But when people say stuff like that, like, you really should have gone to Gladiator because that would have made your husband so happy. My husband enjoyed eating popcorn and being by himself. My husband does not enjoy me going to movies that I don't want to go to. And I don't enjoy my husband being forced to see a movie that he doesn't want to see. That doesn't mean that my husband shouldn't be able to go to the movie theater and see that movie. I actually think that that's really healthy for relationships when people can do things on their own, okay? It's called unhealthy when you're enmeshed to the point where you have to do everything together. I've been in that relationship. It forced us apart and we weren't healthy. So my husband and I know what works for us. But to the gal out there whose husband went to Gladiator without her and went with her best friend instead, girl, I'm worried about you. Because they're all worried about me, I'm worried about you. I love that that comment was on there, like two right underneath that. Somebody said, I was like, girl, her marriage is in trouble too. She's divorce city because her husband went to go see Gladiator. What's so interesting to me about this is, right, like I made this comment one time, and people totally misunderstood what I said, because I said something like it's rather homophobic. And people were like, what do you mean it's homophobic to say that, blah, 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 whatever, right? But like, my cousin Caroline goes out to dinner 4 nights a week with girlfriends. Mike never goes. Never, okay? Caroline and Mike have a fantastic marriage. He doesn't want to go to dinner with her, okay? It's the fact that I'm on a vlog and I'm talking about it that people are like, oh my God, you don't do this and you don't do that and you and your husband don't spend any time together and whatever. But like, if it was in the real world, do you guys go out to lunch with your girlfriends? Do you have things that you do with your friends alone, like go shopping? Do your husbands do things with their guy friends, like go out and have a drink or watch a game with them? You don't go with them? Oh my God, your marriage is in trouble. Oh my God, your marriage is in trouble. Like, that's normal. Like, that's a normal real world thing. I don't know who's passing judgment on that. I don't know if it's people that are in unhappy marriages or their marriage has no substance or they're not married, but that's like a normal married thing. My husband and I have not been together for a year, okay? We've been together for 16 years. Let that settle in for a second. 16, that's a long time, okay? If you have a 16-year-old, remember back to when they were an infant. That's how long we've been married. We've been married for a very long time, okay?
Not Peter telling us how long 16 years is. Mansplaining much? Anyway, let's continue. After these clips, I will have some thoughts.
I love doing stuff with my husband. I hope that he loves doing things with me too. I think he does, okay? But it's totally fine for us to do things apart from time to time, okay? When Tanya and I go to a meeting on Tuesday nights, I'm not worried about her marriage falling apart, okay? When her husband goes out to dinner with his friend and she sits at home and watches her stories on the TV that she's recorded, because she still does. After all these years, I didn't even know stories were. And her husband, I'll be like, Tanya, what's Eric doing tonight? She's like, oh, he went out with so-and-so to go have a steak. That doesn't mean that their marriage is over. I just want to normalize that, okay? Because whenever I say I'm not doing something with my husband, people freak out. Like, not everybody, but a few people do. And I always said that when I got on YouTube, I was going to normalize what a normal relationship looked like, okay? A normal relationship, a normal, healthy relationship for Peter Mon and Alex Brett as my husband does not look like us doing things together 24 hours a day. It just doesn't, okay? We spend a lot of time together. We spend enough time together, you know? And I can tell you right now, if I was driving around in my car with my best friend, she'd say, I love my husband. I love him, but sometimes I need time alone, okay? And that's just how it goes, you know? If my husband looked at me at brunch and said, I really want you to go to this movie with me, it would make me really happy for us to go to a movie, do y'all think I wouldn't go to that movie? If I looked at my husband and I said, I really want to go out to dinner tonight, I want us to do something, do you think I wouldn't go, he wouldn't go out to dinner with me? Seriously? Those are conversations, I mean, we ask each other for what we need. That's called, you should ask each other for what you need. I don't know, instead of, I don't know if that's transference, because you're in relationships where you wish that your husband would go to movies with you, and so it's easier for you to look at my vlog because you're in happy marriages, and I don't know, you look at your husband and go, Peter's marriage is a mess, and then he sits there on the couch and flicks through the TV while you're sitting there obsessing over my marriage. I don't know, maybe you need to go fix yours or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I know I overshare and I share too much and stuff like that. But it's like this, right? It's like, oh my God, he didn't go to a movie with Alex. He didn't go to Gladiator. They're headed for divorce. Yeah, we probably are. That's going to be 2025, the year of the divorce for me. 2025, I'm going to announce that we're getting divorced and we're finally leaving and he's had enough of me and we're done with each other. And cheers to single life. Cheers to single life, then, I guess. I don't know. We're not getting divorced. We're not. We're not. I know some of you out there. Anyway. So, but I thought that was so funny when I got that comment about the because I was reading through the comments, and there really weren't that many about the movie, but somebody was like, it makes me so sad that you didn't go to the movie with your husband. He would have liked, how do you know what my husband would like, first of all? Is what I want to know. How do you know what my husband would like? You don't know my husband very well if you think that he cares, okay? Because if he cared, he'd say, I want to go see this movie with you. That would mean something to me. He didn't say that. When I got that message, or that comment, somebody was like, Alex would have, it makes me really sad that you didn't go, because Alex would have loved that so much. How do you know? I mean, you want me to be for real? I mean, there's some things that my husband might love, okay? I don't know it's about sitting next to a movie theater. I mean, we're not, yeah, sometimes it's nice to go to a movie with each other, okay? But a movie that we would both enjoy. If I wanted to go see a movie, and this has happened before, okay? For example, years ago when I went and saw all the Oscar movies, I asked Alex, which ones do you want to go see? He wanted to see Lincoln, he wanted to see Argo. Those were the ones that we went to go see together. He did not want to see Impossible, he did not want to see Les Mis and all this, so he didn't go. We're still here together. That was about 10 years ago. It's okay to go see a movie every once in a while together. Then there's another couple that they're about her age. They're there every day. You know, so everybody's relationship is different. But to that girl out there whose husband went to go see Gladiator with his best friend, girl, you better watch out. You better watch out. Per that one person, our marriages are in trouble. And it's all gonna, I can already see those divorce papers. I, Peter Mon, divorced Alex Paredes over Gladiator. I can already see it. We in trouble, girl. We in trouble. Okay.
So let's dive into this topic that's been stirring up quite the discussion in the comment sections and Reddit threads lately. Peter and Alex's relationship dynamics. Now, before I get into it, let's remember this is all coming from observations, opinions, and Peter's own content. So let's break it down. First off, yes, it's absolutely normal and healthy for couples to spend time apart. We all need our personal space, hobbies, and individual friendships to thrive. Nobody's arguing against that. But what's raising eyebrows here isn't just the fact that Peter and Alex do things separately. It's the amount of time they seem to spend apart and, more importantly, the context around it. Based on what Peter has shared, it seems like he's been consistently turning down invitations from Alex, especially during moments that arguably hold emotional weight. Let's look at the timeline a Reddit user made. November 15th. Alex invites Peter to a Venezuelan concert with his mom. Peter chooses to stay home. November 16th. Alex has a Friendsgiving. Again, Peter stays home. November 22nd. A work Christmas party. Great opportunity to connect with Alex's colleagues. Peter stays home. December 1st. A simple movie night to see Gladiator. You guessed it, Peter stays home. Now, this isn't about criticizing Peter for needing downtime or preferring his own company sometimes. That's valid. But when this behavior becomes a pattern, especially during the holidays or after the loss of their beloved dog, it does raise the question, is this really about needing alone time, or is something deeper going on? What's particularly striking is that Peter often talks about feeling lonely and disconnected. He's expressed these feelings openly, yet seems to reject opportunities to connect with Alex. It's almost like there's a disconnect between what he says he wants and the actions he takes. And here's where the conversation gets a bit more nuanced. Relationships are about balance. It's not just about having alone time. It's about making intentional time for each other too. It's about showing up for your partner, even when it's not your preferred activity, because that's what makes relationships work. The commenter on Reddit who shared their perspective brings up a valid point. They spent 22 years with their spouse, and while they occasionally did things separately, there was still a foundation of shared time and mutual enjoyment. That's the balance that seems to be missing here. Let's also touch on another layer: Peter's public sharing. He often talks about how normal and healthy his relationship is, but when you're putting that out for public consumption, people are naturally going to respond. And if you can't handle the feedback or feel the need to spin it, it might be worth asking why you're sharing it in the first place. Lastly, let's consider the emotional impact. Alex appears to keep extending the olive branch, trying to create opportunities for connection, and Peter's consistent "no" could start to feel like rejection. Add the loss of their dog into the mix, and it's easy to see why some people are questioning the health of their dynamic. At the end of the day, we're all outsiders looking in. We don't see every moment of their lives, but the patterns Peter has shared publicly are enough to spark a larger conversation about what makes a relationship work. Balance, communication, and shared time are key, and right now it doesn't seem like that balance is there.
With him. But anyway, hi, how are you? Still haven't put the table together out here because, you know, I'm lazy. I still haven't put the Christmas tree up yet, you know, because I'm lazy. The Christmas tree is definitely going up. Here's the deal with the Christmas tree. It's either going up tonight or it's not going up at all, which means it's going up tonight because I'm not going to not put up a Christmas tree this year. I decided that. I kind of went back and forth with it. I went back and forth with, you know, I kind of figured something out about this vlog that I think, like, probably 99% of you figured out, like, I don't know, like 5 years ago watching the vlog. There's still that 1% out there that, like, doesn't understand it, right? Is that my vlog is very stream of consciousness. So I might say something like, it's like if I'm talking to a friend on the phone or if I'm just, like, inside my head thinking, right? Like, that's very much what this vlog is. Where it's like, I might be like, oh, like, maybe I'll rake the leaves today. And then tomorrow I'll get on the vlog and I'll be like, yeah, I didn't rake the leaves. And they're like, that 1% out there is like, he didn't rake the leaves! He didn't rake the leaves! You know, it's like, it's all just kind of stream of consciousness. Do we not get that about this vlog? I think we get that, don't we? Anyway. Okay, so I've gone back and this is where I was like, you know, because if I say like, it's just me talking through things. Like if I was like in my head, like in the kitchen, this is like what the vlog is. I think most people get that. Do you not get that? Like, I guess maybe I'm the only one that gets that. Or is it really most of you get that? I think most of you get that, right? So like if I one day say like, yeah, I don't want to put up a Christmas tree, and then the next day I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about putting up a Christmas tree. Like, you guys just know that's Peter's mind, how I think, right? Like, I mean, it's Vlogmas. Okay, so I saw this thing, somebody sent me this thing, and it was like, if you don't want to, if you're like, you know, going through tough times, if you're grieving, whatever you're going through, if you don't want to go to your family's house for Thanksgiving or Christmas, you don't have to. If you don't want to put up a Christmas tree, don't put up a Christmas tree. And that kind of got into my head, right? And then I was like, well, the reason why I don't really want to put up a Christmas tree in the bedroom this year is just because it's really messy and I don't want to move all that stuff out of the corner that I already have organized over there. Okay, that's that reason. But I do want to put up the Christmas tree downstairs. But then I was kind of like, well, we're like 2.5 weeks out. Do I really care? I go back and forth. When it literally takes 5 minutes for me to put up that Christmas tree, and I'll be so happy when the Christmas tree is done. So last night I was like, we're just going to put up the Christmas tree tomorrow is what we're going to do. But anyway, what was I going to tell you guys? Oh, by the way, Tanya Jean was asking me the other day. Okay, I know this fireplace thing has become a joke at this point because I have like not called in months to get the fireplace fixed. I'm fully aware of it. I'm fully aware of it. I think the other thing is this. When people are like, Peter, get the fireplace fixed. I think part of it is that if I really cared, I really would have. Like if I really was like dying that hard to have a fire this winter, I would have gotten it fixed. I mean, the things that I want to do, like I get them done. So I didn't, it wasn't on the top of my priority list. But Caroline's getting me some names. She gave me one already of these like smaller companies that she thinks can get out here a lot sooner, like maybe even before the first of the year. But then Tanya the other day, that we were talking on the phone, and she said, like Tanya has a full working fireplace, and so she was like, I bought this thing for my fireplace because I was going through so many Duraflame logs, and she was like, and my flue, blah, 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 whatever, like, they were going to have to come out here and fix it. And so she bought this thing, and she's like, you should get one of these because it puts off heat and everything. And I go, what is it? And she's like, it's like this heater thing that you put in your fireplace, and it looks like a real fire, and then you, like, plug it in. Look at this. That's in Tanya's fireplace. And I texted her back, and I said, oh, that's cute. I need to get my fireplace fixed, too, LOL. So, but anyway, She's like, you should get one of those for your fireplace. I'm like, no. They already let me have it for not fixing my fireplace. Can you imagine if I said, oh, I'm just going to get these plug-in logs? That's where I can't be just a normal person. Anybody else would just be like, yeah, I'm getting these plug-in logs for the year. F the fireplace. But, you know, it's because I'm lazy. Anyway, it's kind of a pretty day outside today. Did I say that earlier? I mean, it's not kind of a pretty day.
Now, let's dive into the saga of Peter's rants, specifically his take on the concept of stream of consciousness and how it apparently excuses his habit of not following through. So here's the setup. Peter went on a bit of a rant about people calling out his tendency to talk about doing things, like setting up his Christmas tree, fixing his table, or fixing his fireplace, but never actually following through. His defense? It's all just part of his stream of consciousness, and most people understand that this means he might say things he doesn't actually plan to do. Now let's break that down. Peter essentially argues that if he doesn't get around to doing something, it simply wasn't a priority. Fair enough. None of us can do everything all the time. But here's where it gets tricky. If he spends more time talking about these tasks than it would take to actually do them, is it really about priorities, or is it about procrastination? Let's take the Christmas tree as an example. Talking about setting it up, what it means to him, when he might get around to it, and why it hasn't happened yet, can easily take up 15 minutes in a vlog. Setting up a Christmas tree? Because it is a tabletop plastic tree, it maybe takes 30 minutes. If you've got time to film yourself explaining why it hasn't happened, you probably have time to just do it. What Peter seems to miss is that actions speak louder than words. Repeatedly talking about your intentions, only to dismiss them later as just part of my stream of consciousness, can come across as dismissive, both to his audience and to himself. It's almost like he's excusing inaction by framing it as deep self-awareness. But here's the thing. Self-awareness without action doesn't mean much. If you're truly prioritizing things, it's not just about what you get done. It's about recognizing when your habits might be frustrating or disappointing to others, especially when you've involved them in your plans. And of course, we can't ignore the tone Peter uses when addressing these criticisms. He often comes across as condescending, brushing off valid feedback from his audience as if they just don't get it. But let's be real. His viewers understand the concept of a stream of consciousness just fine. What they're pointing out, and what he seems unwilling to hear, is that constantly narrating intentions without following through can become a source of frustration, especially when you position those intentions as part of your content. When people point out that the talking takes longer than the doing, they're not being unreasonable, they're being observant. Peter could actually benefit from taking this feedback to heart, but instead he seems to double down on his defensiveness, as if admitting the point would somehow undermine his entire approach. At the heart of this, it's not really about the Christmas tree or the table or the fireplace. It's about consistency and accountability. If your entire vlog format is based on sharing your life, your viewers are naturally going to feel invested. When the follow-through is constantly missing, it can start to feel like you're taking your audience for granted. And let's be honest, this is a pattern with Peter. We've seen it time and time again, big plans, big declarations, and then silence. Instead of acknowledging that this might be frustrating for his audience, he labels those who point it out as overly critical or just plain wrong. So what's the takeaway here? Peter has every right to share his stream of consciousness and live his life how he chooses. But if he's going to use that format as an excuse for inaction, while also dismissing the valid critiques of his viewers, it's fair to question how much respect he really has for his audience's time and investment. At the end of the day, actions will always speak louder than words, or in this case, vlogs. So, what do you all think? Is Peter just overthinking, or is this a deeper issue with follow-through and accountability? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!